In the heart of Mexico City lies a treasure that tells the story of an entire civilization, the National Museum of Anthropology. Opened in 1964, it stands as one of the most important museums in the world, preserving the heritage of ancient Mexico from the Olmecs and Maya to the mighty Aztecs. Its striking modern architecture, crowned by the iconic El Paraguas canopy, shelters thousands of artifacts that reveal the creativity, spirituality, and genius of Mesoamerican cultures. This is not just a museum, it is the living soul of Mexico's history and identity. As the first whispers of dawn brush across Mexico City, the sky transforms into a canvas of soft pastels, delicate pinks merging into pale golds, fading into the faintest traces of lavender on the horizon. The distant mountains that cradle the valley, the Sierra de las Cruces, the Ajusco, and the Cerro de la Estrella, glow in the early sunlight, their peaks catching the first amber rays and casting long, graceful shadows down into the sprawling urban expanse below. From this height, the city appears almost serene, a labyrinth of streets, plazas, and rooftops, slowly stirring to life. The morning air carries a crispness that hints at the city's elevation, blending with the faint scent of flowering jacaranda trees scattered throughout Chapultepec Park. Early risers begin to appear, a jogger's rhythmic footsteps echo along winding paths. A street vendor gently arranges his fresh produce, and a few photographers adjust their cameras to capture the fleeting magic of the sunrise. Birds, sensing the new day, dart across the sky in scattered formations, their wings catching the light, and a soft wind rustles the leaves, creating a quiet symphony in the park's expansive greenery. Amidst this awakening cityscape, the National Museum of Anthropology emerges as a masterpiece of modern architecture and a monument to Mexico's rich past. Nestled in the heart of Chapultepec Park, the museum's clean lines and minimalist forms stand in stark contrast to the organic textures of the surrounding landscape. The building's facade, a composed blend of stone, concrete, and glass, subtly evokes the solidity and permanence of the civilizations it celebrates. Each surface seems to hum with history, suggesting the countless stories of the Olmecs, the Maya, the Zapotecs, and the Aztecs that rest inside its halls. The museum's grand entrance courtyard is dominated by the iconic central umbrella, known as El Paraguas. Rising like a monumental stone blossom, its massive canopy is supported by a single, slender pillar. At this hour, the early sunlight strikes the umbrella at a perfect angle, casting dramatic, intricate shadows across the courtyard's polished stone floor. The effect is almost otherworldly, a fusion of art, architecture, and light that seems to echo the cosmic symbolism found in the artifacts housed inside. Surrounding the courtyard, carefully designed gardens frame the museum with native flora and sculptural works inspired by Mesoamerican art. The soft rustle of leaves and the occasional chirp of a bird provide a gentle soundtrack, adding to the sense of calm before the museum doors open to welcome visitors. The contrast between the tranquility of the morning and the energy that will soon fill the museum creates a palpable anticipation, a quiet promise of exploration, knowledge, and discovery. At this magical hour, the National Museum of Anthropology is more than a building. It is a threshold between worlds, between the present and centuries of human history, between the bustling modern city and the civilizations that shaped it. The golden dawn seems to linger on its walls, illuminating not just stone and glass, but the stories, achievements, and mysteries of ancient Mexico. For the visitor arriving in these first moments of the day, the museum is a living testament to the enduring brilliance of the human spirit, waiting silently to reveal its treasures. Stepping closer to the National Museum of Anthropology, visitors are immediately struck by the scale and precision of its design. The entrance, wide and imposing yet inviting, feels like a portal into another era. Smooth stone walls rise on either side, punctuated by long horizontal windows that reflect the soft morning light and hint at the treasures waiting inside. The architecture balances modern minimalism with subtle nods to Mesoamerican forms, creating an aesthetic that is both timeless and distinctly Mexican. Passing through the grand doorway, one enters the museum's central courtyard, the heart of the complex. Here, the iconic El Paraguas dominates the space, a massive stone canopy hovering above, supported by a single, slender column. The umbrella's scale is astonishing. It stretches outward like a protective canopy, creating a sense of shelter while leaving the courtyard open to the sky. As sunlight filters through the edges, it casts intricate, lattice-like shadows across the stone floor, echoing the geometric patterns found in ancient Aztec and Maya architecture. The courtyard is more than just an architectural statement. It is a gathering place, a space designed to inspire awe and contemplation. Benches are strategically placed, inviting visitors to pause and take in the view, while small fountains and reflecting pools mirror the sky above, adding a sense of tranquility. The ambient sounds of the city are softened here, replaced by the gentle trickle of water, the occasional flutter of birds, and the murmur of fellow visitors preparing for their journey into history dot around the edges of the courtyard. Carefully curated sculptures and replicas of Mesoamerican artifacts hint at the stories inside. Stone figures reminiscent of Olmec heads, Zapotec urns, and Maya stelae stand proudly, offering a preview of the civilizations visitors are about to explore. The placement of these works is deliberate. They create a dialogue between the past and the present, between human ingenuity and the architectural genius of the museum itself. The courtyard also serves as a natural transition from the bustling city outside to the contemplative world within. From this vantage point, one can see the surrounding Chapultepec Park stretching outward, a lush green expanse that contrasts beautifully with the clean lines of the museum. Early morning light catches the edges of the trees and the tips of sculptures, creating a play of shadow and color that changes with every passing minute. Visitors arriving at this hour often linger, savoring the calm before entering the halls. Children gaze upward at the enormous umbrella, their expressions a mixture of wonder and curiosity. Tourists adjust their cameras, trying to capture the perfect angle of light and shadow. Scholars, architects, and art enthusiasts alike pause to study the precision of the design. It is a space that speaks to everyone, transcending language and culture, drawing each visitor into the shared human fascination with history, art, and the passage of time. In this courtyard, the National Museum of Anthropology reveals itself not just as a building, but as an experience, a space where architecture, light, nature, and history converge. Every detail, from the texture of the stone to the placement of each artifact, is designed to evoke a sense of reverence, anticipation, and discovery. Here, before stepping inside, visitors already feel the weight and wonder of the centuries they are about to explore. Passing through the courtyard, visitors step into the pre-Columbian halls, a space where the air seems charged with history. The ceilings rise high above, supported by clean stone and concrete pillars that echo the strength and precision of ancient architecture. Soft, diffused lighting illuminates each artifact, carefully highlighting textures, carvings, and colors, while maintaining an atmosphere of quiet reverence. The halls are deliberately spacious, allowing visitors to move slowly and absorb the significance of every object without distraction. The journey through these halls is a journey through time itself. Each section is dedicated to one of the great civilizations of Mesoamerica, offering a chronological and cultural narrative that unfolds as one moves from room to room. The Olmecs section welcomes visitors first, dominated by massive basalt heads, their solemn expressions carved with astonishing skill. The sheer scale of these sculptures immediately communicates the power and authority of the Olmec rulers, as well as the sophistication of their artistry. Alongside these colossal heads are smaller artifacts, jade figurines, ceremonial objects, and intricately carved stone tablets, each piece revealing the spiritual and cultural depth of this ancient society. Moving deeper into the halls, the Zapotec and Mixtec sections highlight the artistry and complexity of Oaxaca and surrounding regions. Here, visitors encounter finely detailed pottery, jewelry, and funerary urns, all meticulously preserved. The objects tell stories of daily life, ritual practices, and political power, and their intricate designs reflect a deep understanding of symbolism, geometry, and storytelling. Walls are adorned with large-scale reliefs and murals inspired by ancient codices, bringing the history to life and creating an immersive environment that feels both educational and almost sacred. The Maya Hall is a highlight, evoking awe with its towering, stelae, intricately carved altars, and ceremonial masks. Visitors can almost hear the echoes of ancient cities in the whispers of these stone and jade artifacts. The display carefully emphasizes the Maya's profound knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and hieroglyphic writing. Interactive panels allow a closer look at glyphs and calendrical systems, helping visitors understand the precision and brilliance of Maya civilization. Every artifact, from delicate jade beads to monumental stone carvings, conveys the sophistication of a culture deeply connected to nature, the cosmos, and the cycles of life and death. As visitors continue through the halls, the Aztec section begins to dominate the narrative. Here, massive stone sculptures, ceremonial knives, and intricate jewelry evoke the power, drama, and spirituality of the Mexica people. Each object is displayed not simply as an art piece, but as a window into a society defined by ritual, warfare, and devotion to their gods. Lighting is carefully designed to cast shadows across relief carvings, enhancing the sense of depth and mystery. The arrangement of objects guides the visitor's gaze, telling a story of human ingenuity, resilience, and belief. Throughout the pre-Columbian halls, the design of the space itself reinforces the journey through time. Subtle changes in lighting, floor materials, and wall textures help distinguish each civilization, while maintaining a cohesive flow that feels like moving through a living timeline. Quiet alcoves invite pause, encouraging reflection on the ingenuity, creativity, and spirituality of Mexico's ancient peoples. Every artifact in these halls is more than a historical object. It is a storyteller, From colossal sculptures that dominate a room to tiny ceremonial figurines barely larger than a hand. Each piece carries with it centuries of culture, belief, and human experience. As visitors move from one hall to the next, they are not simply walking through a museum, they are walking through the very essence of Mesoamerican history, connecting with civilizations that continue to shape Mexico's identity today. Entering the Aztec Hall, visitors are immediately struck by its dramatic scale and intensity. The space feels both monumental and intimate, a perfectly curated environment where the power, artistry, and spirituality of the Mexica civilization come alive. High ceilings allow light to spill gently onto the artifacts, while carefully designed shadows accentuate the intricate carvings and contours of the stone sculptures. The hall itself is arranged like a narrative, guiding visitors through the story of one of Mesoamerica's most influential civilizations. At the center of the hall stands the Sun Stone, often called the Aztec calendar, a massive circular monolith carved from basalt. Its enormous scale dominates the space, demanding attention and reflection. Visitors circle the stone slowly, tracing the radial carvings that depict the Aztec understanding of the cosmos, cycles of time, and the gods who governed the universe. Each symbol, each carving, tells a story of creation and destruction, of celestial order, and of human responsibility within the cycle of life. The craftsmanship is astonishing. Even the tiniest details are precise, revealing the sophistication and astronomical knowledge of the Aztec people. Surrounding the sunstone are other monumental sculptures and ceremonial artifacts. Stone carvings of deities, jaguar warriors, and serpents stand as silent witnesses to a civilization that valued ritual, strength, and divine connection. Large obsidian knives and sacrificial stones hint at the religious practices that were central to Mexica society, illustrating a culture deeply intertwined with spirituality and cosmic belief. The juxtaposition of these objects evokes both reverence and curiosity, inviting visitors to consider the complexity and depth of Aztec culture. The hall also displays a vast array of smaller artifacts, jewelry, pottery, ceremonial masks, and intricately decorated clothing. These objects provide an intimate glimpse into daily life, personal expression, and social hierarchy. The delicate gold ornaments and finely carved stone figurines contrast with the monumental sculptures, reminding visitors that the Aztec world was both grand and intricate, public and personal. Each piece reflects a society that balanced artistry with utility, devotion with power, and individuality with communal identity. Strategically placed lighting enhances the sense of drama, highlighting relief carvings on walls and drawing attention to subtle patterns that might otherwise be missed. Textured stone surfaces and muted tones throughout the hall create a sense of continuity and solemnity, while small, interactive displays allow deeper exploration of Aztec rituals, calendars, and mythology. Visitors are encouraged not just to observe, but to understand, to see the sunstone not merely as a relic, but as a living representation of Aztec cosmology. As one moves through the hall, the Aztec world unfolds with remarkable clarity, from the monumental public works to personal ceremonial items. The hall encapsulates the balance of power, spirituality, and artistry that defined this civilization. The visitor leaves with a sense of awe, recognizing the enduring influence of the Aztecs on Mexico's identity and the profound sophistication of a people whose achievements continue to resonate centuries later. Stepping into the Maya Hall, visitors enter a space that feels both expansive and mysterious, echoing the grandeur of the ancient cities of Tlacopalanca. In Copan, the lighting is carefully designed to create a sense of depth, casting subtle shadows across towering stelae, intricately carved altars, and ceremonial sculptures. The air carries a quiet reverence, as if whispering the stories of a civilization that thrived for centuries in harmony with the cosmos and the natural world. Dominating the hall are monumental stelae, tall stone pillars carved with hieroglyphs and depictions of rulers, gods, and ceremonial events. Each stela is a narrative frozen in stone, conveying stories of power, lineage, and sacred ritual. Visitors can trace the intricate glyphs, marveling at the Maya mastery of writing and symbolism. The carvings reveal a civilization deeply engaged with astronomy and mathematics, where time was meticulously recorded and celestial events were central to both governance and ritual life. Delicate jade artifacts and jewelry are displayed alongside the monumental works, providing an intimate glimpse into the personal lives and beliefs of the Maya. Finely crafted figurines, masks, and ceremonial objects illustrate the artistry, spirituality, and daily practices of the people. The rich green of jade, often polished to a luminous sheen, contrasts with the earthy tones of stone carvings, creating a visual dialogue between the monumental and the personal. The ceremonial masks on display are particularly striking. Some are made of jade mosaic, others carved from stone or wood, each reflecting the Maya focus on ritual, identity, and the connection between the earthly and divine. These masks were more than art. They were instruments of power, worn in ceremonies to invoke gods, ancestors, and cosmic forces. The detail is astonishing, from the precise inlay work to the symbolic patterns etched into every surface. Visitors also encounter Maya codices and replicas of architectural elements, such as roof combs and linteaux, providing insight into the design and decoration of their cities. Murals and wall carvings reproduce scenes of ceremonial life, depicting kings, priests, warriors, and everyday citizens. The hall's arrangement encourages visitors to explore in a deliberate, reflective manner, moving from large, awe-inspiring monuments to smaller, intricate objects that reveal the nuance and sophistication of Maya culture. Throughout the hall, the museum uses ambient sound and lighting to immerse visitors in the Maya world. The faint echo of ceremonial drums and bird calls, combined with warm, directional lighting, enhances the feeling of stepping back in time. Every display, from the monumental to the delicate, emphasizes the Maya understanding of balance between art and function, humans and nature, the earthly and the divine. By the time visitors leave the Maya hall, they carry with them an appreciation of a civilization that was profoundly advanced, deeply spiritual, and artistically brilliant. The hall captures not only the achievements of the Maya but also the enduring resonance of their culture, a testament to human ingenuity and the timeless pursuit of understanding the universe. Continuing the journey through the museum, visitors enter the halls dedicated to Oaxaca and Western Mexico, a region celebrated for its rich artistic heritage and cultural diversity. The space is carefully curated to showcase the distinct identities of the Zapotecs, Mixtecs, and other indigenous civilizations, emphasizing the incredible variety of styles, materials, and techniques that flourished across Mesoamerica. The first artifacts draw the eye with their vibrant colors and intricate designs. Ceramic pottery, in reds, blacks, and earthy tones reflects both daily life and ceremonial practices. Bowls, figurines, and ritual vessels bear geometric patterns, symbolic motifs, and depictions of animals and deities. Each piece is more than decorative, it tells a story about the people who made it, their beliefs, and the communities in which they lived. Visitors can almost imagine the hands that molded the clay, the fires that hardened it, and the rituals in which it played a role. Moving further, the funerary sculptures and urns command attention. These finely crafted objects reveal the Zapotec and Mixtec reverence for ancestors and the afterlife. Some urns are shaped like humans, animals, or hybrid figures, intricately carved to honor the dead and guide them into the spiritual world. The level of detail is astonishing, with patterns so precise that they seem to echo the rhythms of nature itself. The Mixtec gold and metalwork collection is another highlight. Delicate jewelry, intricate ornaments, and ceremonial objects showcase the technical mastery of these civilizations. Gold, often combined with turquoise and other stones, is transformed into miniature sculptures that reflect cosmology, mythology, and social hierarchy. The shimmering surfaces capture the light, creating a sense of both luxury and sacred significance, reminding visitors that art and spirituality were inseparable in these societies. Large stone monuments and reliefs bring the scale of Western Mexico's civilizations into perspective. From carved stelae to monumental heads, these objects reflect the sophistication of architecture, governance, and ritual practice. Each carving conveys narrative and symbolism, providing insight into leadership, warfare, religious ceremonies, and everyday life. The juxtaposition of monumental stoneworks with delicate ceremonial objects highlights the breadth of artistic achievement in this region. The museum also emphasizes the regional diversity of Western Mexico, with displays that contrast styles, materials, and motifs between different communities. Visitors gain a sense of how geography, resources, and social structures influenced artistic expression. The halls are arranged to allow a natural flow from one culture to another, encouraging exploration and reflection. Subtle ambient lighting, soft background sounds, and the careful placement of artifacts create an immersive experience. Visitors can linger over each display, appreciating the skill, symbolism, and cultural significance embedded in every object. By the end of this section, the richness and complexity of Oaxaca and Western Mexico's civilizations become evident, a tapestry of human creativity that bridges the everyday with the sacred, and the local with the universal. Leaving the ancient artifacts behind, visitors step into the ethnography section, a space that brings Mexico's living cultures vividly to life. Here, the focus shifts from the distant past to the present, highlighting the traditions, daily practices, and artistic expressions of the country's indigenous communities. The hall is designed to immerse visitors in a sensory experience, the vibrant colors of textiles, the intricate craftsmanship of everyday objects, and the stories told through ritual and art. The first displays immediately capture attention: traditional clothing and textiles, elaborate hoop piles, embroidered blouses, hand-woven rugs, and ceremonial garments hang gracefully, their patterns representing centuries-old techniques passed down through generations. Each stitch, color choice, and design is a symbolic language, reflecting identity, status, and local heritage. Visitors can observe how different regions have distinct motifs, from the geometric patterns of the Zapotecs to the bright floral designs of the Chiapas highlands. Alongside clothing, tools and everyday objects reveal the ingenuity of these communities. Hand-carved, wooden implements, woven baskets, pottery, and musical instruments demonstrate the functional artistry woven into daily life. Some objects, like spinning wheels or ceremonial drums, show the intimate connection between craft and culture, how objects are used not only to survive but to celebrate, communicate, and preserve memory. The ritual and ceremonial artifacts in this section are particularly compelling. Elaborate masks, feathered headdresses, and ceremonial figurines illustrate the spiritual and religious practices that remain alive in many indigenous groups today. Each piece tells a story of faith, community, and the cyclical rhythms of life: planting, harvesting, birth, death, and the honoring of ancestors. Visitors are encouraged to reflect on the continuity of these traditions, seeing them as living threads connecting past and present. Photography, video installations, and interactive displays complement the physical artifacts, providing context and insight into the rituals, festivals, and daily lives of modern indigenous communities. Visitors can witness dances, ceremonies, and storytelling practices, experiencing the vibrancy and resilience of these cultures firsthand. The museum emphasizes that the history of Mexico is not only found in stone and jade but also in the living traditions that continue to shape society. The ethnography section bridges time and perspective. It highlights that Mexico's identity is not static, it is a dynamic interplay between the ancient and contemporary, the historical and the lived experience. Walking through this hall, visitors gain a deeper appreciation for the diversity of indigenous cultures, their adaptability, and the pride with which communities maintain and innovate their heritage. By the time visitors leave this section, they carry with them an understanding that Mexico's rich cultural tapestry is ongoing. Ancient civilizations may have laid the foundation, but living communities continue to shape, preserve, and transform that legacy every day, weaving a vibrant story that connects past, present, and future. Stepping outside the museum halls, visitors enter the outdoor gardens and sculpture spaces, a serene expanse where art, nature, and history blend seamlessly. The open-air environment provides a moment of reflection after exploring the indoor galleries, inviting visitors to connect with the physical and spiritual essence of Mexico's civilizations. The gardens are carefully landscaped, with native plants, trees, and flowering shrubs creating a lush, vibrant setting that mirrors the diverse environments from which the museum's artifacts originated. At the heart of the gardens, large stone sculptures and replicas of ancient monuments stand as silent sentinels. Some are towering recreations of Olmec heads, their solemn faces carved with meticulous precision. Others echo Zapotec or Maya designs, depicting gods, warriors, and symbolic animals. The scale of these sculptures allows visitors to appreciate the craftsmanship and effort required to create monumental works without modern tools, providing a tangible connection to the past. Winding pathways guide visitors through the gardens, offering multiple perspectives of the sculptures and creating a sense of discovery. Reflecting pools and small fountains add tranquility, their gentle sounds blending with the rustle of leaves and bird calls from nearby trees. The interplay of light and shadow throughout the day enhances the textures and contours of the stoneworks, making the outdoor space feel alive and ever-changing. The museum also incorporates interpretive displays and plaques, providing context for the outdoor artifacts. Visitors learn about the significance of each piece, the culture it represents, and the symbolism behind its design. For example, a carved jaguar figure may illustrate the spiritual importance of the animal in Mesoamerican mythology, while a ceremonial altar replica shows how rituals were conducted in open spaces like this centuries ago. Sculptures and gardens are arranged to encourage both contemplation and movement. Visitors often pause to sit on benches, taking in the harmony of the space while photographing details, sketching, or simply enjoying the atmosphere. The gardens become a place of meditation, a bridge between the city's energy and the profound history explored inside. The outdoor areas also serve as a living exhibition of Mexico's connection to nature. The selection of native plants, carefully maintained lawns, and tree canopies echoes the environments of the ancient civilizations, reminding visitors that art and life were always intertwined with the natural world. The design encourages an understanding that Mesoamerican cultures did not separate themselves from nature. They celebrated it, relied upon it, and incorporated it into every aspect of daily and ceremonial life. By the end of the garden walk, visitors leave with a sense of balance and perspective. The outdoor sculptures and landscapes reinforce the museum's narrative that Mexico's history is not confined to indoor spaces, but extends into the natural world, where art, architecture, and environment coexist in harmony. The gardens offer a quiet pause before continuing the journey, a reminder that history is not only to be seen but to be felt, experienced, and reflected upon. Beyond the permanent galleries, The National Museum of Anthropology offers modern exhibitions and temporary shows that bring a dynamic, contemporary perspective to Mexico's rich heritage. These rotating displays are carefully curated to explore connections between ancient civilizations and modern life, international cultures, and new interpretations of historical art. They allow visitors to experience the museum not only as a repository of the past, but also as a living, evolving institution that continues to inspire creativity and dialogue. Upon entering these special exhibition halls, visitors are greeted with innovative displays that combine art, technology, and interactive media. Digital screens, augmented reality installations, and hands-on exhibits allow deeper engagement, inviting people to explore artifacts in ways that were previously impossible. For instance, a 3D projection might reconstruct a Maya temple or animate the movements of ceremonial dancers, bridging the gap between ancient practices and modern understanding. Temporary exhibitions often highlight global connections and cultural exchanges, showing how Mesoamerican art, ideas, and techniques influenced or interacted with civilizations beyond Mexico. Visitors may encounter comparisons between pre-colonial art and African, Asian, or European pieces, revealing universal patterns in human creativity. These exhibitions underscore the museum's role as a space for cross-cultural dialogue and understanding. At the same time, modern exhibitions celebrate contemporary Mexican artists whose work is inspired by indigenous heritage. Paintings, sculptures, and installations reinterpret traditional motifs, weaving history into modern narratives. Visitors witness the continuity of cultural identity, understanding that the creative spirit of ancient civilizations continues to shape Mexican art, design, and storytelling today. The museum also hosts seasonal and thematic exhibitions, such as celebrations of festivals, commemorations of historical events, or showcases of archaeological discoveries. Each exhibition is meticulously designed to provide context, clarity, and immersion. The careful lighting, spatial arrangements, and accompanying narratives ensure that visitors feel both informed and inspired, deepening their appreciation for Mexico's living heritage. By integrating these modern and temporary exhibitions, the museum creates a dialogue between past and present, reinforcing the relevance of history in contemporary life. Visitors leave these halls with a sense that culture is not static. It evolves, interacts, and continues to inspire. The museum demonstrates that the legacy of ancient civilizations is not confined to artifacts on display. It lives in the creativity, thought, and cultural identity of people today. This section also emphasizes the museum's role as a hub for research, education, and innovation, highlighting programs for scholars, students, and the general public. By connecting ancient knowledge with modern technology and contemporary perspectives, these exhibitions expand the visitor's understanding, making each trip a journey through both time and imagination. As the journey through the National Museum of Anthropology draws to a close, visitors are left with a profound sense of connection to history, to culture, and to the human story. Walking back through the halls, the echoes of ancient voices seem to linger. The solemn gaze of Olmec colossal heads, the intricate glyphs of Maya stele, the monumental presence of the Aztec Sun Stone, and the vibrant textiles of living indigenous communities. Each artifact, each display, has woven a narrative of human ingenuity, resilience, and creativity across centuries. The museum, in its architecture, exhibitions, and gardens, is itself a storyteller. From the modernist lines of its facade to the monumental outdoor sculptures, it embodies a dialogue between past and present. Visitors leave not only with knowledge but with a sense of awe and reverence for civilizations that flourished long before modern Mexico City rose around them. The journey encourages reflection, how history shapes identity, how tradition informs modern life, and how art and culture transcend time. In these final moments, the museum also invites contemplation of continuity. Ancient practices, rituals, and artistry are not relics frozen in time. They are living legacies carried forward in contemporary Mexican life. In communities that preserve language, craft, and belief, the ethnography halls, the gardens, and even temporary exhibitions remind visitors that culture is dynamic, ever-evolving, and profoundly human. Stepping outside into the streets of Mexico City once more, the museum leaves its imprint. The sun may now be high in the sky, casting vibrant light over the city. But the experience lingers, the sense that the past is never truly gone, that the stories of ancient civilizations continue to shape the present, and that the treasures of the National Museum of Anthropology offer a window into the enduring spirit of humanity. The visit concludes as a journey not just through artifacts and halls, but through time, identity, and imagination. Every visitor leaves carrying a piece of the story, a renewed appreciation for Mexico's rich history, a deeper understanding of its peoples, and a lasting inspiration drawn from the creativity, knowledge, and spirit of civilizations that continue to echo through the centuries.